From Connetquot High School in Bohemia, New York, the Varsity Media Sports Network presents this Suffolk Class A showdown between the Tigers of Northport, the two-time defending Long Island champions, and the T-Birds of Connetquot. Good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler here, Mike Hungerford, our entire Varsity Media crew, set for what should be an exciting game, Mike. It's an electric atmosphere already. Two teams that are probably top three, right? If you add in Ward Melville and Suffolk Big Boy Lacrosse. So a lot of exciting individual matchups, which we'll get to as this game goes along, but a big one out here in the 6-3-1.
Sure. We've had some really good non-league contests the last few days, but right here, a pretty important league game going on right here.
Face-off circle is, or the face-off X, I should say, is going to be really critical for Northport. It's Dylan Baumgarth. And that's Joe Doyle winning the opening faceoff for Connetquot. Be a push from behind, so it'll be Northport ball. Some different looking players. The last time we saw Northport win the Long Island Championship a year ago, and that's one of them, although the name is the same. It's a different Tittman in the cage. That's Michael Tittman, younger brother of Andrew, who led the Tigers to a Long Island championship. And now Northport on attack.
I think Northport, with on the defensive side of the field, several returners, very strong defensively there. On the offensive side, a little bit retooled from last year's stellar group.
Yeah, the exception is Jack Delaberti, the sophomore, number 1. He's the only returning starter on attack. Had 7 and 4 against Comac, 28 and 15 on the season for number 1.
Looks like the T-Birds are out here, a little zone look, start the game.
Yeah, that'll be what you expect to see a lot of from Connetquot, and Cal Cochran right in the middle of that. So great at takeaways, and then with his athleticism, Mike just initiates the transition game, which is so important for what Connetquot wants to do.
Sure, very good player. He's got great range, can do a lot of things, on and off the ball. And he's a really good pickup for LIU next year.
Logan Cash, part of that first midfield line. And it's virtually an entirely new first midfield as well. You've got Macklin O'Brien. He was on second. Actually, it is a completely new first midfield line because Macklin O'Brien was on second midfield, but he's probably the most experienced in terms of playing time of that group, number 9, the Geneseo commit.
Just getting some circular ball move right now against zone. I think the referees are pretty consistent in the first possession of the game. Not going to put a storm warning on very easily, but especially when you play against zone, they're pretty consistently going to let you manipulate the ball for quite a while.
How do you get through the middle of the zone? There you see O'Brien spinning towards the outside. Now tries to get inside, and it goes right into the stick of the new starting goalie. For Connetquot, that's Colton Stellwagen, the sophomore. He's replacing the junior. Connor Fitzgibbon tore his hamstring, and that loss, the overtime loss at Ward Melville, first flag of the game. So Stellwagen had to step in, and it's now his job to be had.
McCarthy running that ball out. They got a little pretty high up on him. Helmet actually came off, which is going to immediately stop play. But there was a flag down. So Connetquot gets their first real possession of offense, and it will be a man-up opportunity.
Yeah, 1 minute man up for the T-Birds, who rely on a pair of Tylers. TNT, Tyler McCarthy, Tyler Moore, 2 electric future Division I midfielders, 17 and 2.
Northport will counter with, the defensive group's got a lot of range. Alfiero, number 45.
Well, especially 54. We've spoken about Andrew Miller for years. That's Galosi now at X.
You have to be a little careful with their range getting out to you and trying to change up the timing of what you're running on man up.
Moore back up top. Lefty rip from Moore, wide of the mark.
Good step down look right there. He's inside of about 12 yards, close to 10. That's a pretty good angle for the goal and a pretty good look.
Moore, as good a goal scorer, he is as a feeder as well. He's got the ball now. That's McCarthy getting a touch.
McCarthy playing the bottom righty spot in this 3-3 set.
They tried to feed to the middle, stolen away. Now Northport off and running. That was Quinn Reynolds with the takeaway. And now to Andrew Miller. He can certainly fire the pole goals on the year. The Army-bound Miller with 11 goals and 5 assists.
Miller's an excellent, excellent two-way player as a defender. I mean, he's really good offensively with the ball and the stick and shooting it. And it's like an extra offensive player in the field. You have to ignore the fact he's playing with a pole.
He's got more goals than anyone on their first midfield line. Actually, I should amend that statement. O'Brien has the same amount of goals.
He's an amazing player, like in some ways a generational type player at the position for Northport.
He will be part of what Connetquot head coach Brett Jafera says might be the matchup of the year, the individual matchup at least, as he will get Tyler McCarthy. So McCarthy versus Miller. That was the case a year ago when Northport won by 1 at home.
2 All-American players right there. Facing off against you doesn't happen really very often.
Also a little bit of a clash of styles, Mike, in this one. Northport more patient on attack, and Connetquot would like to go a little bit Rutgers-esque with the NASCAR right away. You want to get that early offense more than look to work things settled. Nice save by Stellwagen. Battle for the loose ball, and it stays with Northport. But for a kid who's just now in his second start, that's a big save.
Sure, get your first one. You know, Miller helped him out by missing the cage on the 5-on-4 off the man down clear, and great to get that good one right there. You'll feel good about yourself.
Another one. That was a shot by Delaberti wide of the mark.
Shots of 15 yards. Delaberti is a great young player, but that's from 15 yards. You're gonna have to give him shots from that area a little bit. Pack it in and take away the inside.
That's Logan Cash. Ball on the carpet. Another ground ball picked up by Northport. The Tigers enter this game with an 8-0 record. Only by power points, and only a couple. They're behind Ward Melville. Both teams undefeated in league play. Of course, you have to play each other. There's a step down from distance again. That was Logan Cash, and another save by Stellwagen.
Good solid save, no rebound.
And here comes Aiden DeLiso. Galosi. Cochran harassed. He battles Alfiero, and Alfiero, a hard hit. No foul is called. He comes away with the ball. Physicality tonight in this Suffolk big boy matchup. And here's Miller looking to push. Look at the legs. The Gazelle. Miller! Pole goal.
That's the risk you run when you kind of go early on your end and you've played a little bit of defense and you get into a little up and down game, and Miller can run the field so well, so skilled, was able to step into that ball right there. That's from about 16 yards, but the pole is so hard to read, you know, where that ball is going, you know what the angle of leaving the head of a stick is from the pole is very complicated for the goalie.
So Northport strikes first. Back to the face-off X we go. Dylan Baumgarth, what huge shoes he has to fill, right? Actually, both these guys filling the shoes of Division I face-off guys. Sean Hill for Connetquot. Now he's at LIU. And Baumgarth replacing, and there's a flag. This should be a trip, it appears. Replacing Tyler Kuparanchek, who's now at Penn State.
Yeah, Kuparanchek was a dominant player last year. A big part of that, what they accomplished, making it to the state final last year, Northport, and big shoes to fill. And you can't be Tyler Kuparanchek. You have to be your own guy and do the best you can. I actually thought maybe Northport won a little early there. It seemed like they got away with it Referees maybe didn't see it, but then on the ensuing ground ball picked up by Northport, we have a trip. So, man up here for Northport now.
Man up and also up a goal. So first man up opportunity for Northport. Connetquot 0 for 1 with the extra man. There's Delaberti. .34, Luke Lyokano, just a freshman.
Circle right now, just moving the ball.
Patrick DeMauro. There's a look down low and missed connection as it was Timothy McLam down low, unable to grab that pass. So they should Connetquot get the clear, kill off this man down. Although losing it at midfield was Jaffers. Still loose in the midfield. Alfiero picks it up.
Numbers here.
And now, yes, Northport has numbers, and they finish with Delaberti, his 29th of the year. It is 2-0 for Northport.
Yeah, the clear, coming off the penalty, and they get the ball into the middle of the field. And with those poles that Northport had in the middle of the field and the ride, dangerous territory there to be in and have those plays. And you see the finish.
So Delaberti, his 29th goal of the year. According to head coach Larry Sarasi, Delaberti is just such poise, great shot, quick release. And again, just a sophomore. He's pretty excited about the future of this Northport program, and of course the present's pretty good too. Again, back-to-back Long Island championships, and this is a win for Baumgarth.
Looks like they got numbers again here.
And another goal as well. That was Quinn Reynolds, your short stick D-Midi, coming up with his 4th goal. He's on the wing on faceoffs. And look at the time and space that he has. Nobody closes in, so he just figures I'm going right to the cage and finishing.
Just beats the check right there of number 8. Aiden Dinnigan. Just get that ball shot. Heads up play.
So Northport off to an early 3-0 lead. And Doyle went early. So the early faceoff edge goes to Northport, as does the score line.
I think if you're Northport, you're pretty happy the way the game is opened up here.
And Stellwagen makes that save. But the clearing game has been a struggle. There's another helmet off and another penalty. As that was Kyle Cochran losing his lid. So we'll see how long this man up is. Second high hit we've seen, Mike, in this first quarter. And the officials, as you see there, will have a quick conference and make the decision.
Looks like Steve Murray there, veteran official.
So this will be a 2-minute. Is that what Murray indicated? Yes, and it is unreleasable. So what an opportunity now for Connetquot. Down 3 goals early. You've got an unreleasable 2-minute man up.
Well, if you're Connetquot, you want to get back in the game here, down 3-0. A little over 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. It's a great place to start, right here on your man up.
So here we go. Galosi to Tiracini. Just working it around. Turacini, the sophomore. Little hidden ball trick.
Little fake flip.
Yep. There's A.J. Jaffairs losing it on his stick. And look at Reynolds. He picks up that ground ball, and he is off to the races. Reynolds. Ooh, and a pass. If he would have taken that shot, you would have.
I think because they were man down, he thought about, like, he got close to him and he realized, we're man down, maybe we should hold the ball. And he was kind of like caught in between both things, right?
He tried to find McLam, and obviously off the mark. So now Connetquot back in their offense, and another errant pass. That's not the guy that you want to throw in his direction. Here comes Miller the other way. Miller gets it back. Miller, kick save.
Great save.
Stellwagen comes up huge. And now Connetquot off to the races. McCarthy. Low shot blocked on the way in by Turacini. No backup, so Northport gets the ball. Sloppy play early on, Mike.
Yeah, Connetquot just not really particularly smooth right yet. Kind of got to get the flow of the game going a little bit. They had a couple great opportunities. But what a save right there on Miller. That doesn't happen too often.
No, Stellwagen goes down low, kicks it away. He's a guy who battled at the beginning of the season with Fitzgibbon. It's a little bit of a goalie war in the preseason, and then the first week it was Fitzgibbon who kind of eked him out for that spot. But again, when Fitzgibbon got injured against Ward Melville, it was Stellwagen's opportunity, and the sophomore has been good. 20 saves coming in. Had a quarter against Ward Melville. That Sachem North game was his first full varsity game.
You can't fold too much further behind, I don't think, with Northport, because if you're going to be able to stay in your zone look. Right now, they were kind of getting organized defensively. Now they're going to try to double the ball. Sometimes Elvis you get a little bit disjointed defensively. You can give a good shot up here.
Another errant pass, and I think it's the same connection there. It was DeMauro trying to find McLam off the mark. You'd think, I guess if you're a Connetquot fan, you hope that one of these breaks goes your way. But outside of that one shot by Moore, you haven't had your two bigs. The two Tylers haven't really been involved too much early on. And look at the aggressiveness with the poles for Northport. They have been really good in this first quarter.
Well, they were kind of organizing the ride there to get the pole on the pole, and then have that happen. I think Coach Ferris was trying to call timeout. He didn't get the call. He was a little disappointed. And the ball goes back to Northport. Good job riding by Northport.
That's Alfiero getting it across. Alfiero, the High Point commit, tore his ACL in the second game of the year last year against Port Washington. So long recovery, and Soraise said that he's really excited to have him back, obviously.
Very good player, great size, a lot of range, pretty skilled. Obviously, no one is Drew Miller, but a pretty skilled player in his own right.
And you have a similar situation on the other side, right, where you've got Kyle Cochran, tore his ACL first practice of the season. So he missed his entire junior season, and similarly, easy for me to say, an athletic pole and also a Division I bound pole heading to LIU. Inside the final minute, Delaberti saved by Stellwagen. And Mike, if not for some of these saved by Stellwagen, this score, which is just 3-0 at this point, could be significantly worse. Now little NASCAR has Cochran unable to pick it up off the pass from Moore. And again, Northport so aggressive and athletic in the clearing game, and McCarthy with the takeaway. Just fires it down.
End of the quarter.
Tittman has no idea where it was. And yeah, that does it for an entertaining opening quarter. Well, Northport jumped out early. Delaberti, Reynolds, and 54 Drew Miller with the goals. and they've got a 3-0 lead after one. You're watching the Suffolk Class A showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Connetquot High School. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here, our entire Varsity Media crew. 3-0 after the first. Some technical difficulties. We couldn't get to them. Let's show you the players to watch here. First for Northport, we mentioned them earlier. It's Della Birdie on attack. Good-looking sophomore, 28 goals and 15 assists. And there he is, the future Army commit, Andrew Miller. What a season and a career he's had here at Northport.
Two excellent players right there. One in the sophomore class and one in the senior class. But you can lean on both of those guys. Della Birdie was a starter last year as a freshman, and a lot of game experience to make it to the state final.
And we'll show you the Connetquot players to watch. And there is McCarthy, the only junior All-American in program history, bound for Syracuse. Over 200 career points, started as a 8th grader here. And Kyle Cochran, mentioned him before as well. Not Drew Miller numbers, certainly, but when he can get the ball, he can initiate that transition. You see a goal and 5 assists as well for Cochran.
Sure, a lot of impressive long sticks here in the game today,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
And you mentioned a moment ago, or at least in the first half, you mentioned Aiden Dinnigan, bound for Malloy, and Doyle wins that one. Takes a shot from behind. Another flag against Northport.
The Northport guys are giving you some chances here with the fouls to play extra man. And if you want to get back in this game and you're Connetquot, you're going to have to cash in soon.
It's a 1-minute trip against Northport off the face-off. So the third man-up opportunity for Connetquot. They are 0 for 2, which included that big 2-minute full-time penalty.
See what they do here on the man-up this time.
Here's Moore. Fakes it. Moore goes back to X to Galosi. A strange weather day here in Bohemia. It looked as Moore again fakes it twice, gets it back. The N1 and the goal. Galosi gets it, and Connetquot's on the scoreboard.
Well, Moore makes the whole play by having that little top hand fake, stepping in between players, drawing, making it look like he's going to step down and shoot it. See there, and then he's able to turn, stepping in between players and turn and throw that ball downhill to the bottom for the nice shot in the goal.
For Galosi, goal number 13 on the season, and for Moore, assist number 22.
Well, if you Connetquot, just take a deep breath, right? Well, you got one, and let's go. You know, we're 3-1 right now. As much as maybe we haven't played very well in the first quarter, we're only down by 2 goals, right? Felt like 7 about 35 seconds ago.
Yeah, they've been streaky a little bit in the rivalry game against Sachem North, which Brett Jaffer says, listen, I was worried about it, right? Because it came after an overtime loss to Ward Melville on the heels of a game everyone was talking about against Northport. And you knew that Sachem North was going to give you their best, but they got out to a quick start against Sachem North. And then the second and third quarters, when Sachem North switched to a man defense, they struggled as off the stalemate, face-off one, and a timeout called by Connetquot. But then the fourth quarter, you ended at 6-1. So they started it strong and they ended it strong. But that was a big relief, I think, for Connetquot. Again, considering you're coming off that loss, and then also what you have ahead. We didn't get a chance to show you before. Let's show you the starting lineups for both of these teams. First for Northport, and you can see how different they look from a year ago. There you see Delaberti, McClam, and DeMauro on attack. O'Brien along with Elmala and Cash Money, part of your midfield unit. On defense, you've got Zimas, Valenti, and Alfiero. Tippmann in goal. Along with Miller, that's 4 dudes who play football. And, like, not just, like, they're not a cornerback. They're not a punt returner. These are fullbacks and linebackers. And, and we see that physicality early on. And, of course, the head coach, Larry Ceresi, in his 3rd season, a 2003 graduate of Center Reach. We'll show you the lineup now for Connetquot. It's Galosi, Turricini, and DeLiso up front. Your midfield of McCarthy, Moore, and Jafaris. That's Brett Jafar's son. Joe Doyle at the faceoff X, Dinnigan, Weaver, Guido, and Stellwagen in the cage. Head coach Brett Jafaris in his 11th season at Connetquot grad, 1990. His entire staff are all Connetquot grads, as are the JV head coaches. And I know that that's something that's special for you, Mike, at Farmingdale. You've got a lot of alums who come back and support the program.
Absolutely.
And they will fail to advance the ball off the timeout.
Offsides.
Yeah, then again. So it feels like anything that can go wrong right now for Connetquot is, except for that man. Stellwagen has been a beast. And finally,
great play by McCarthy.
Yeah. McCarthy, Moore, lefty rip wide. No backup. And that also is something that you risk, right, when you play that early offense.
Well, you have to just know, if they're coming down and he's winding up there more, but he's not throwing you a ball. I think the bottom lefty cut and took away a potential end line runner, and it left the righty to try to run. They were outnumbered there to the line. But I think what's got to happen is they have to get a plan in the clearing game to get organized against the Northport Ride.
Reynolds gets across. 3-1 early lead here for Northport. Look at that. A little fake and then inside roll, as it was Macklin O'Brien with the goal.
Great little play there by O'Brien. Like sometimes before the zone defense gets organized and gets really, dug into what they're going to do, he kind of just went and dodged. Before you see that all the defense kind of up top, they're not really setting their rotation or their spots yet. And he sees a 2-on-1 and he a little top hand fake, steps under and sticks it. Great individual effort and kind of really good lacrosse IQ, recognizing that defensively they weren't really organized that moment.
Yeah, O'Brien, his 12th goal of the year, again, played on the second midfield a year ago, has worked really hard in the offseason, and he's been the steady presence in the Tigers' midfield. Face-off win for Northport. Ball goes around, and it goes to Northport. And now here's an opportunity, calling for a Delaberti, low shot, kick, save again. Stellwagen, rebound goes back out to Reynolds, back on the carpet. And is picked up by McCarthy. We expect to see McCarthy and Moore be on both ends of the field a lot. And here's Alfiero. Gets it back to Delaberti, and now Northport can go back into their 6-on-6 offense.
I know Coach Shafaris can't be super happy with the sloppy play a little bit in terms of ball being all over the place and just kind of giving Northport extra possessions right now. And it's not a good formula.
You wonder if it's not a little bit of nerves. Big matchup.
Well, I think some of the things in the face-off game are caused by their personnel, by Miller. You pick the ball up and he's going to be nearby, and have to try to neutralize him a little bit when you can.
Here's Elmala, the Bryant commit. 7 goals on the year for him. They'll play the 2-man game at X. Elmala gets it back. There's Delaberti up top.
They up there, it should be in no rush.
Bouncer from the top by Elmala was wide. Elmala, another one of those guys, right? Didn't necessarily contribute last year, but he has that experience of being part of the team, worked hard in the offseason. Big, tall, lanky, fast, athletic Dodger. Up top, time and space.
Pretty long shot there from probably 16, 17 yards, and they didn't have a backup, so they'll go over to Connetquot.
But they've got to clear. The clearing game has been an issue. And let's go punt return now with a guy who played in the football team, the athletic Tyler McCarthy.
You can see why McCarthy's heading to Syracuse. Great legs. Just can, punt return that ball out.
An outstanding football player. And the Teepers had a pretty good football season until McCarthy got hurt late in it, and they kind of struggled afterwards.
Miller trying to take McCarthy away a little bit.
Here's Moore off the screen from Jaffairs. Switches hands, gets to Jaffairs, and now he'll look to dodge. Spins. Jaffairs gets topside. Low shot wide of the mark. No backup. Winning that race, you saw there Nick Zimas, the Jacksonville commit.
Yeah, both teams, I think, are pretty hasty in shooting the ball a little bit and trying to work for something better and putting the guys on the bottom of their offense, whether they should be going to the back line or not, putting them in a little bit of a bad spot.
Tittman somehow finds Logan Cash. Now a lefty shot by Miller. And that's the thing, that's one of the things, Mike, I think that makes him so special on the attacking side of the ball. Like, he's not just that guy who wins the ball and initiates transition. He can play settled 6-on-6 as a pole.
Sure, you have to treat him like a short stick, and you have to really, I think, take him away sometimes, not let him even be part of what's going on when you can, not let him handle the ball. He's such an energy guy, energy player for the Northport, and creating that positive energy that they have. Every time he touches the ball, you can see there's a hush in the crowd, like, is it going to go? And you kind of have to, neutralize that when you can.
Yeah, in lacrosse, they talk about juice guys, and he is certainly a juice guy.
Good defense right there.
Elmala thought about it. To Delaberti. Some more good defense. And a timeout called. So no, it was overturned. It was a push on Northport. So the Tigers tried to call timeout, but it was as they were called for a push. So good call by the official. They'll take that timeout off the board, and now you go from McCarthy looking to clear to now Moore trying to do so.
You can't have one guy running out all the time himself. So you have to trade it up a little bit.
Now here comes Tyler Moore. Starting goalie on the soccer team. A basketball guard as well. Moore gets across. Moore skips it, but right into the stick of Tittman. And here come the Tigers the other way. That's Giancarlo Valenti trying to find the stick of Miller. It's now McCarthy. And you know Miller was waiting for him, and they have to reverse course. Cochran across the way. And now they get it to Turricini, and there's a timeout for Connetquot. We spoke to both coaches leading in. We talked to them about their keys in this one. And we'll show you those keys to victory, Mike, now for both sides. For Northport, they wanted to win the middle of the field, be patient on offense, understand the matchups, and communicate on defense. For Connetquot, it's about winning their matchups. It's the battle at the face-off X and pushing the ball in transition. We've seen certainly them try to do that. It's been slight edge for Northport at the face-off X. But for Northport, they have been able to be patient on offense because of getting those extra possessions, whether it's from winning the face-offs or those turnovers.
Sure, that Northport's definitely won the middle of the field right now. They've really influenced and tipped the field on, turned the field a little bit with their ride. And they've been patient on offense. A couple, ill-advised shots and maybe a couple of passes that became turnovers. But overall, they've managed the game a little bit better so far than Connetquot has a little bit. And they've been pushing the ball at Connetquot, but I think, Coach Jafar is probably in the huddle talking about decision-making, right? Like, instead of throwing some wild cross-field pass, right, just throw it forward out the back, attack opposite. Keep the game really simple, right? Sometimes when it's at its simplest, it's at its easiest.
Connetquot a year ago was 9-7, lost to Huntington 6-4 in the first round their first round. They had a first-round bye a year ago. And Northport, as we know, they won Suffolk A for the second straight year, won the LIC for a second straight year as well. And it's interesting in Suffolk A, right, because you've had these ebbs and flows of programs, whether it was the West Islips back in the day or Ward Melville, although they seem to kind of be the most consistent, right, across the board from years and years. You had your Smithtown Easts for a while, and now it seems like it's Northport with the advantage.
Here we go. Price of admission ready. Oh, they moved it a little bit. You had a little bit of McCarthy.
You wanted the matchup.
But it's pretty smart. You just can't go to the rack right away off clearing it. And I think possessing the ball right now for Connetquot is on a premium level right now. Just get organized.
And here's Jaffairs up top, the sophomore. He transferred from Sayville, moved into the district. Jaffairs gets to his left, fires, blocked from behind. Good ground ball picked up by DeLiso. Little extra look. Moore gets top side. Moore! And Connetquot cuts their deficit to 2.
That was the first possession, I think, of the whole game where they had like really snappy ball movement, good people movement, and they get Moore to a strong hand to the middle of the field, and they're able to finish. And that was pretty good.
And off the timeout. So you wonder if that was part of the conversation, right?
I think I can't say if I was the little birdie in the huddle right there, maybe I was like, let's take a deep breath here. And, as funky as it might have been in some of the clearing situations and possessions, it's 4-2 right now, So you're a play away from it being really in it.
And now you win the faceoff. So Moore, the kid they call Danger, gets his 27th goal of the year. And the clearing game has been an issue. Look out.
No timeouts now. You just got to figure it out.
Somehow getting across was Lucas Weaver. And now there's Moore.
That situation with the face-off, they had all 3 poles stayed on. So now you're clearing with 3 poles, which most of the time in the clearing game, usually a pole does come off.
Moore spins it, gets it in front, and there's a goal! Turricini, the finish.
The last 55 seconds have been all about Moore. But a great job clearing it by Connetquot, handling the pressure, getting it across.
Watch 22 off ball. Like Alfiera has to play more.
Right, he curls back and to a strong hand, able to look inside, and of course he knows what's going to happen. The cutter and steeds are coming, and you got a little momentum switch here. Connetquot kind of turning it up a little bit.
A little excitement now in the bird's nest, as you see Connetquot pulling within 1. Back to the face-off. X we go. Doyle battling with Baumgarth. The wings come into play.
Good check.
Yeah, really good check. But Northport comes away. There's an injured Connetquot player on the field. It seemed like off that wing battle. Miller. I think that got blocked in front. And Stellwagen comes away. Here's Weaver. Side arms it. You go pole to pole. You got to find your short stick.
And then you got to find your way to get in the box.
Here comes Jaffairs, and he does just that.
Good legs right there.
And it's interesting, too, how they have it set up here at Connetquot, right? Jaffairs, again, as I mentioned before, new to the team, new to the district, coming from Sayville, which is just a short drive down. But he's with 2 veterans in McCarthy and Moore. It's kind of a perfect situation. You don't want to have to try to come in and be the guy, but he can learn off both of those guys as a sophomore and obviously next year take a more advanced role.
Yeah, Realski looks like on the offense they have the 2 Moores who graduate and everybody else comes back. They're trying to, just try to let those two guys kind of, steer the ship.
And here's your matchup. Guys. McCarthy on Miller. McCarthy gets downhill. McCarthy to the cage, switches hands, and Tippmann makes the save.
Tippmann made the low-angle save right there.
Intercepted by Moore. The and one. McCarthy! And we are tied!
It's definitely more, not less, right now for Connetquot. And Tippmann makes a nice save on McCarthy getting back to the inside. And he's trying to get it going early. A little ill-advised pitch, trying to get it to look like Miller there. Not a bad choice, trying to go to Miller whenever you can, but great play by Moore. And we are tied.
Moore with 1 and 3. McCarthy gets his first goal. T-Mac is 28th of the year. And this, again, is all coming off that timeout, the momentum that started.
Well, what they've done more importantly than I think anything else, is they've just cleared the ball better. They've gone backwards on a couple face-offs. They were able to successfully clear the ball, and all of a sudden now you can play offense because you have the ball.
So Connetquot looking for their first lead on this possession. Jaffers steps in and pulls it back out. There's DeLizzo. .231 of running here. I don't think you can hold for one realistically here, but you want to try to get a great possession here. And two schools of thought, try to create a great possession, see how long the referees will let you play on the bigger area of the field before they tell you to keep it in if they think you're stalling. Maybe try to go 2 for 1 here. Here comes McCarthy downhill again on Miller. The slide comes. McCarthy backs it up. Back to the crease. Turricini! And Connetquot takes the lead.
It's been some 3 minutes for Connetquot right here. You can see that, the ability they have offensively.
Is that McCarthy? Yeah, well, gets it to X.
Well, McCarthy's really got 2 men on him, right? Like he's got the slide came, and then Miller is kind of hanging in there a little bit, like 3/4 of the way there. So it's really the other 5 offensive plays for Connetquot against 4 defenders. So that was really, really slick offense and good IQ. Recognize that, moving the ball and finding a good shot.
4-0 run, right? Is that my math correct here? It was 4-1 for Northport. Turricini gets his second, 23rd of the year, and the assist goes to DeLizzo, his 4th. And there's still 2 minutes left in this first half. Talk about the ebbs and flows, right, of a game. Doyle wins that one backwards, and now Stellwagen. The long clearance finds Moore upfield. Here comes Moore. Steps inside. Moore! Step into the danger zone.
Wow, what a turn of events. Great pass from the goalie to Moore, and Moore comes streaking down. It kind of starts to sidestep, gets underneath, and beats the slide. Such an athletic move. I know Moore is a really good soccer player, goalie in soccer, and just you see is oozing athleticism right now. Going to St. Joe's in Philly, an up-and-coming program in the NCAA lacrosse.
2 goals and 3 assists for Tyler Moore.
And the worm has turned a little bit here in Bohemia.
Jafar steps in, steps out. Now you can do a lot of different things, right? If you're Connetquot inside the final 90 seconds of this first half.
They got the short stick lock on Moore, so they're willing to play 5-on-5. So basically, Connetquot's playing with 1 player with the short stick and 4-on-4 with the pole. Probably going to use him as a picker here with McCarthy.
That's what he does, create a little bit of separation. McCarthy switches to his left. McCarthy rips it. That's wide. Chase for the ball, and Connetquot wins that chase.
Coach Sarasi's not too happy that the ball went Connetquot way. But I think depending where the ball went out, that's what the referee saw. McCarthy using that pick, though, right, just to get that downhill separation.
You have to for Miller, right?
Sure.
Whatever edge you can get.
Yeah, Miller's, he's more fast. I think he's more big strides and fast and quick. And McCarthy has a little bit of both, that foot fire of his, and can try to get a little separation when you can, because Miller is a handful.
Here's Moore, guarded by Valenti.
Now you're under a minute now, clock running, so you just going to try to hold for one here and try to take the last shot. You're either going to go up 7-4 or it's going to be 6-4, and you just played the best 4 minutes of the season, I think, right now.
Moore sets things up with Jafers. They'll play a two-man game. Jafers coming over to set a pick. 27 seconds left. Here comes Moore. Swim. Back to the other side. Moore still has it. 17. He's pointing out he wants another pick. He's got room. Splits defenders. Hits the turf. Loose ball. Shot. I think McCarthy got it off. Tippmann with the attempted clear. But that does it for the first half. And as you said, I don't know if you could ask for a better 4 minutes of lacrosse from the T-Birds this season. Down 4-1. You've got a 6-4 edge at the half.
What a great little segment of lacrosse for Connetquot. And if you're Northport, you've been here before. That's why you have a two-time defending Long Island champion, right? You've been here before.
So at the break, the T-Birds rallying for 5 unanswered goals to close out the first half. 6-4 lead for Connetquot in this Suffolk Class A battle right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net.
The Long Island Lacrosse Showcase has been the premier recruiting event in the nation for over a decade. Led by high school coaches in Nassau and Suffolk counties, our event annually draws the biggest and best college coaches. Past participants and MVPs have been Joey Spallina, Mac O'Keefe, and Xavier Arline. Registration is now open for this must-attend summer event. Register now at lilacshowcase.com and follow us on Instagram at lilacshowcase. And coming this fall, for the first time, our Girls Showcase.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Lacrosse players, listen up. It's halftime, and you know what that means. It's time to tune up your stick. At String It Up in Huntington, we know a well-strung stick that can make all the difference on the field. That's why we offer fast and reliable stringing services that will have you back in the game in no time. Visit String It Up today at 41 Stewart Avenue in Huntington Village or on the web, www.stringitup.com. Are you and your family looking for a great day of fishing without having to travel too far? Well, Badfish Charters is the place for you. Conveniently located in Huntington Harbor in Huntington, New York, Badfish Charters is fully outfitted with all of the gear you need to have a great day on the water with your friends and family. Each boat is spacious with an enclosed cabin, equipped with all Coast Guard mandated safety equipment, fully licensed and insured. Badfish Charters offers full and half-day fishing charters accommodating groups of up to 6 passengers. To book your next fishing trip, give Kevin a call today at 631-681-4290.
College coaches, it's time to consider Varsity Media to broadcast your games. High school recruits are on Varsity Media with a subscriber base over 50,000 strong. Varsity Media's viewers are your target demographic. What better way to promote your program than by broadcasting your games on the Varsity Media Sports Network? Get an edge up on your competition by showcasing your team in front of Long Island and New York high school players. Our coverage includes announcers, multiple camera angles, instant replay, in-game graphics, in-depth coverage, and so much more. Best of all, viewers watch free, no paywall, and that means more views of your games. Don't delay. Varsity Media is booking for the 2024 season right now. Contact us today by phone at 516-403-2050 or by email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land.
Welcome back to Connetquot High School. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with our entire Varsity Media crew. A tale of two different, I can't even say quarters, right? Because it was kind of just a tale of most of a half and 4 amazing minutes for Connetquot as the T-Birds rally for a 6-4 lead here at the break. And this, we mentioned at the top, this is an important game, Mike, and we'll take a look at the standings to show you exactly the reason why. In Suffolk A, and again, the PowerPoints come into play, and you've got Ward Melville sitting on top right now. Now, they have not played Northport just yet. There you see it. Then you see the PowerPoints, a PowerPoint separating Ward Melville and Northport. Right behind them, you see Connetquot. So a huge game for Connetquot. If they can get this win, now you're battling for first. Now, they do have that loss to Ward Melville, but then I guess you play the hope game. And but then again, if you're 1 or 2, you've got a home game if you can get that far to the semifinals before you play at a neutral site. You got Hills. We just saw Hills, right, against Huntington. They're a dangerous team. They're sitting at 4th. Huntington having a great season as well. They are 5th. East at 6th. Sachem East, and then Bayshore round out your top 8. Quarterfinals are all at higher seeds. You see it there in the bottom right of your screen on May 20th. Semifinals are it's different than in Nassau County. You also play on campus, so that's how important getting those first 2 seeds are in Suffolk A.
I also think whoever gets the 1 seed, you know, if you start looking at things start playing out and shaking out the way I've kind of seen all these teams play now, the 1 seed is got to, you know, being 2 and 3 is going to be, that semifinal is going to be really, really tough.
No matter how, if it stays those 3, whoever that shakes out to be, that is a brutal semifinal.
Right, so you could be a really good team. It doesn't get to a semifinal, they get a shot at the title, right? So it's a really interesting dynamic. That being 1 is pretty important.
And now you see the Varsity Media Sweet 16, and both of these teams feature in it. Northport right near the top at number 4 behind St. Anthony's, Manhasset, and Chaminade. St. Anthony's the number 1 ranked team in the country. And in fact, Northport also nationally ranked by USA Lacrosse at number 13. And then you see Connetquot climbing up right on the edge there of the top 10 as well, right behind Ward Melville and a team called the Dalers from Farmingdale coming in at number 10.
Sure, definitely be some shakeups this week with Southside beating Wantaw yesterday. And, some
Hopog beating Shore and Wading River. A lot of interesting results. So stay tuned. Sunday night we'll have the Sweet 16, the new poll coming out. A lot of big games on tap. We had a lot of games today, right? This is our third matchup of the day, and here you see our upcoming schedule. You've got Southside and Massapequa. That should be an interesting one. Southside, you mentioned that game against Wantagh, winning that game. Pequa losing at Mount Sinai today. So that should be a fun one. Then we're out here, you and I, on the call for East Islip and Comstock. Two programs trying to get into that upper echelon of Division II, where like the Mount Sinai's and the Shorehams and Bayport Blue Points live. A little more EI under the lights against Smithtown West. And this is the week. I spoke to Tommy Zumo this afternoon, the East Islip head coach. He said, this is midterms for us, right? Who are we? Well, you find out from those two matchups against Comstock, a team that regularly competes and wins in Class B, and then also Smithtown West, the perennial powerhouse. Then it's the Lewis Akambora game at Northport, Massapequa, Northport, and then the granddaddy of them all, the Woodstick Classic, Manhasset at Garden City. All those games right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You want to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and also you want to follow us on our social media handles as well. It's at Varsity Media on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. There you see it.
Absolutely.
So a little bit of a recap of the first half. It was kind of all Northport early on. Goals by Jack Delaberti, Macklin O'Brien, Quinn Reynolds, and Drew Miller. And there was a 4-1 lead. And then there was a timeout called by Brett Jaffers, and after that, it unleashed a furious rally of goals for Connetquot. Tyler Moore with 2 goals, 3 assists. Carson Turacini, that inside finisher, with a pair as well. Jake Alosi, Tyler McCarthy, also 1 assist apiece. And maybe we lose it a little bit because we're talking so much about the attack, but Colton Stellwagen has been terrific in the cage for Connetquot as well. That early barrage, making some of those big saves. The kick save I remember back on Andrew Miller. Those were big saves as his team was struggling to hold on to the ball.
Absolutely. It could have been, the lead could have been much bigger for a couple saves by him early on.
So Doyle for Connetquot battled, and he'll get pushed, or a hold it'll be called.
He had the clamp, he just had to get it out. And that's where the hold reciprocated from. And now you got to clear it a little bit. You got to get to, it should be, they put the ball there.
So it's McCarthy looking to go a little more punt return, as he did in a key moment late in the first half. But you mentioned the clamp getting down, and that's what Doyle's been able to do, and it's about taking care of the business after the clamp, and that's something they've been working on recently here at Connetquot.
It looks like from Northport, their wing players are excellent. So you have to deal with being able to pick it up, run through pressure, get a touch, and they've done just that in the last few possessions for sure.
And a whistle. It's an official's whistle.
I'd be talking about a mouthpiece right there, maybe something like that hanging out. Fell out, something like that with Tyler McCarthy.
All right, we'll start it up again with the Dodger. Jaffers from up top. Dodgers on the short stick. Jaffers gets it to X. DeLiso to McCarthy. He's got Miller on him. It's the matchup of the season, says Brett Jaffers. Little 2-man game at X now.
It's funny, momentum is such a factor in sports, and how you play and how you do things. And the same guys that 15 minutes ago were struggling to pass and catch are really smooth right now. It's about mindset sometimes and momentum and how you feel about yourself. It's an amazing part of athletics and at every level. I don't care if you're talking about here in high school or the PLL.
Here comes Tyler Moore. Moore feeds it at X. The one more, and there'll be a crease violation on Connetquot.
I think they called Tyler Moore in the crease there after that dodge.
The two Tylers, Brett Jaffers calls them, and said they are both special players. Both have an increased leadership role now on this team. And in fact, Jafar is pointing out Moore's even working with his own son, just pointing things out, and just both that extra coach on the field with their high lacrosse IQs.
Great to have that. You know, 2 seniors, you play with a lot of younger guys and 2 seniors and providing that leadership. And leadership comes in many forms, right? And being able to, help a younger guy make good decisions or understand the offense and things like that, it's all part of a leadership ability.
So Northport, after a 4-1 lead, they're trying to get back. Nice turn, fire, far post, another save by Stellwagen, this time denying O'Brien.
They ran that play earlier. That's a little man-up play with a little seal.
Ground ball picked up, and that's one that they keep in, but as I say that, Connetquot loses it.
Yeah, that Paul trying to run in that straight line just gets jumped right there and it loses the ball out of bounds, and effective ride from Northport.
That was Lucas Weaver, but Moore at midfield steals it. Now here comes Turricini. Turricini saved by Tittman. And they'll say there was a push. You see Turricini, there he is, down on the ground. So Connetquot will maintain possession.
Good piece of officiating right there. I think he definitely was pushed after the shot, and sometimes that gets missed, right? The shooter, that gets missed a little bit. We'll shake it up, but he's going to hang in there.
Here's McCarthy. Different matchup now. Swings it. Nice pass. But the secondary pass to the crease doesn't connect. And now Reynolds is harassed. He gets it across, and here comes Cash.
I think right there, Connetquot was trying to take advantage of the fact that when McCarthy's going, there's like a man and a half. When he doesn't have Miller directly on him, it's like a man and a half dedicated to him, and there's some openings behind it if you get the ball moving quick enough.
Here's O'Brien. And they'll swing it up top. Elamala.
A really good job by the Northport defense, Dylan, the last couple possessions, like tightening up a little bit, not giving up another goal, getting the ball back for the offense. Just trying to work a little, 3 to 4 man game right there, like cutting, throwing back, throwing down. Using 3 men on that righty side and the crease player to give him a 4th. And they come back to the lefty side.
Back to Cash. To X. Patient offense is what Coach Sarasi said he wanted to see.
Playing against zone's tough. I mean, people say, why don't more college teams play zone? The situation is that the really good college teams have stretch shooters that can score from pretty far from the goal that makes zone much more complicated to play all the time. In high school, we don't always have those stretch guys.
Trying to get inside, but Stellwagen takes it away. Losing it, though. And Northport gets it back, or do they? They don't.
Good job with Stellwagen. Obviously, just be a little bit more patient, holding that ball a little bit longer before he throws it somewhere. Just make sure he's throwing it to the right people.
Same similar issue there as Delaberti steals it away from Weaver. And I think you see those more experienced goalies, right? Like you move up out of your cage and you take some extra time. Maybe even try to identify that short stick.
It looks like they were keeping the third pole in the game on the clear, and of the 6 people you could throw it to, 3 of them are kind of like around, and they're 3 poles, and they're getting a little trapped by the Northport ride.
Here's O'Brien. Gets it to DeMauro, the Scranton commit, the lefty. He's converted from being a midfielder. Now Delaberti up top.
I like Delaberti being up top.
There he is. To O'Brien.
He's one of their players that's got range. You know, step into something and maybe draw the defense in and find someone down by the bottom.
Delaberti swings, lefty shot, and Stellwagen makes the save on Lyokino.
Little spin up there by Delaberti, throwing it back where it came from, trying to get the defense, you know, sloughing off and thinking the ball's going the other way.
Lyokino, nowhere to go. Good defense there by John Guido.
Both defenses have dug in this quarter. You know, no one wants to blink, right? Who's going to get the next goal?
Now you go pole to pole. Spinning was Weaver, losing it. Miller battles Moore in there as well. Moore hits the floor. There were whistles before. Did Connetquot get a timeout or did they call a ward?
They called something before the timeout. Coach Chaveras can't believe it. McCarthy had that ball and he gave it up to the pole who ran over with it, and that's where they trapped him.
And another save by Stellwagen, another shot from distance. And now another failed clearance. Here's Miller. Miller! His second. And Northport pulls within one.
Fortuitous turn of events for Northport. They just had a turnover in their offense, right? They threw the ball away and threw the ride and threw some, you know, some tough ride. They get the ball back. And Miller was able to shoot that, but he could really bring it to the pole from range.
His 13th goal of the year. And Baumgarth and Doyle back to the faceoff X. Baumgarth, a sophomore, he's at 74%. Doyle at 67%. And Baumgarth wins this one. And the ebbs and flows, Mike, of this one continues. Through the middle of the zone, Stellwagen makes the save. And now again, you've got to find a way to clear. And McCarthy, as he did in the first half, is like, I'm taking this one, punt return. Cuts it back upfield, where he's got some more room to operate. Swings it, but another pass results in a 50-50 battle. And a flag is thrown, and that's going to be against Northport.
Aggressive riding and defense there by Northport results in a foul. No, maybe we have a timeout. No foul call, no foul thrown, no flag. I think we had
Thought I saw a flag there, but as the officials are having a conversation, there will be a minute slash.
Oh.
Here's the last meeting between these two teams early in the season. You see, it was Northport winning it 13-12. Mike Meyer with 5 and 3 in that game. Jacob Stark with 3 goals. William Murphy with 2 and 1. Remember Luke Laminola? Well, he had 8 saves. Tyler McCarthy had 4 goals, 4 assists. Tyler Moore with 1 and 3. Braden Stellwagen and Jack Steffens with 2 goals apiece. And Marty Halinsky for Connetquot with 8 saves as well. Of course, their seasons went in different directions last year as well. Connetquot stumbled out of the gate, and they struggled late as well. They lost, as we mentioned before, to Huntington in the postseason, and Northport went on to win a second consecutive Suffolk title and a second consecutive Long Island championship. A year ago, they were 20-2. They lost their first game, 12-4. We had that one on the Varsity Media Sports Network to Mount Sinai. Then they lost their last game. They won everything in between. It was a 20-game winning streak, but they lost at Hofstra to Baldwinsville in the New York State Class A final 10-7. Before that, they beat Smithtown East 16-13 in the Suffolk A Championship, and they beat Port Washington 13-9 in the Long Island Championship. You do lose a lot of key parts from that team as well. Meyer now at Bucknell. Cooper Ranchak, we mentioned before, at Penn State. 4 Suffolk titles in Northport's history. And they come in bunches, it appears like. 01-02, 21-22. Same with their Long Island championships. There's only 1 state title. You go back to the Class A final in 2001.
I was coaching as an assistant coach at Farmingdale. We played against them in 2001 and 2002. They were very good teams, Northport. We had great games with them both years, and they won those games against us and propelled them to win the state championship and got them a state final, I believe, in 2002, and lost for a repeat attempt. So, great teams.
Man up. That low shot was wide of the mark. Connetquot 1 for 3 with the extra man. See in the bottom of your screen, 6-5 is the score. Connetquot with the lead over Northport, the undefeated Tigers of Northport.
Those Northport teams feature some offensive players by the names of Kyle Dowd.
Tittman went up high to make that save on Jaffers.
To go back into Northport war, you had players such as Kyle Dowd, Drew Thompson, and the great Drew Thompson and Brett Koretsky.
Shot by Moore, also off the mark.
Drew Thompson of the I will face off and stay on and play mode, which we don't see too much anymore. Those kind of players.
Specialists, right? We've seen a few on the island, though. I feel like I reference him once a game with you, but Matt Licciardi, in somewhat recent memory, is the guy who did that really well, and Moore finds a way again to score.
I didn't see the exact angle of the shot. We're going to hopefully see it again right now, but I think he bounced that one in. It was a good changeup. He shot the ball in different planes and different angles all the way, different times. And that's really good offensive, IQ in terms of changing up your shooting. It beat the rotation off the bottom, and yep.
3 and 3 for Moore. And I believe that was another man up goal as the Let's Go Doyle chant comes up for Joe Doyle.
Moore's got 3 and 3, and Connetquot scored 7 goals. That's some stat line, especially against a team of the ability of Northport.
Came into this game with 91 career goals and 92 career assists.
That's
Tyler Moore.
Balance right there.
And on this season, he's got 29 goals and 24 assists. Here comes McCarthy against Miller. Love this matchup. McCarthy goes high. It'll stay with Connetquot.
2 players that know each other well.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's good stuff right there.
And you know what, too? I think I heard on one of the broadcasts, I think they're going to bring back next year with more opportunities for Syracuse. I think they're going to have Syracuse Army again. So these 2 guys might get re-familiar with each other. As Moore switches it. It's on the carpet for a moment. Turricini. And there'll be a push. And the ball stays with Connetquot.
Definitely a push there.
And McCarthy will join what is Long Island North. If Long Island South is Duke and Carolina, or St. Anthony South as you referred to it today, well, Syracuse is Long Island Public School North, it feels like. Add in a little sprinkle there of Michael Leo as an errant pass is thrown. And Northport gets the ball.
The Cornell will say there might be Nassau County North one of them too, especially on the defense and face-off end of the field.
Right.
All 3 of Cornell's face-off players hail from Nassau County. They have Gordon-Steeman and Hassett.
Yep.
Represented at Massapequa. 3 pretty good programs represented in the face-off club of Cornell.
Here's Miller. Hat trick? No.
He's going to get his 6 to 8 shots a game, right? It's awesome.
And it's funny, too, because with the long pole, and this is no disrespect to the other attacking players, he just brings a different element, right? Like, you almost want to keep him on. Feeding the crease, Delaberti unable to finish.
Good look inside. They haven't got anything really inside. The zone has done a good job of covering up inside pretty well. And they got one there, and Delaberti just couldn't put it home.
Restart inside the final minute of this third quarter. Inside roll, double comes, backing out was O'Brien. Hands it off to DeMauro. They'll play catch at X. DeMauro up top.
Definitely hot spots in his zone where they're able to play the ball pretty hard with certain poles.
Elmala bounces it wide.
There's certain spots where they don't play it too hard at all, and there's spots where they play it with reckless abandon, knowing that they have help and they're not going to get beat, you know. And
spinning up top, Delaberti switches hands. Delaberti save by Stellwagen. And then just a long clearance downfield, and that does it for the third quarter. So the T-Birds had a 2-goal lead after 2 quarters of play, and they still have a 2-goal lead after 3. It is Northport and Connetquot, Big Boy Suffolk Lacrosse right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
what am I saying?
Right here. Welcome back to Connetquot High School. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford with you. 3 quarters in the books, and it is Connetquot with a 2-goal lead. Here's a look at Northport's upcoming schedule. You've got Middle Country East, that Lewis Acampora game against Massapequa, and then a big one at Huntington, a team that has a lot of those different spots or a lot of those guys in key areas, right? Annunziata at the face-off X, Sammy Mack-Arner in the goal. So Huntington is a tough out there as well, so that's going to be an interesting one on the 3rd of May. And here's a look at Connetquot's upcoming schedule. Pat Med, Brentwood, a tough one against Hills. That should be a lot of fun. Also on May 3rd, and then Sachem East coming up. So you already played Ward Melville. You're playing Northport today. You've got to play Hills. You've beaten Huntington. So a lot of the more difficult games are in the past for Connetquot.
Sure, and I think, you know, Hills is a team. I saw them play for the first time the other day. We did the broadcast of Hills in Huntington, and I was impressed by Hills. Pretty young group, but if you're young like that and you can play against, you know, in that environment they played the other day, a tough game against Huntington, I think they're just going to keep getting better, and they could be dangerous at the end of the year.
Yeah, they are a dangerous team. There is no doubt for anybody in Suffolk A.
2 very good offensive players.
Baumgarth and Doyle back to the face-off X, and going early was Baumgarth. So Connetquot will get things going on attack. They trailed 4-1 in this one, and a big rally at the end of the second quarter to take a 2-goal lead, and they've taken that lead into the fourth quarter now.
Miller on the ball a little bit, just harassing. I think that's Treferis there, right? A little bit.
Yep.
Just trying to see what will happen. Why can't I get it from him? You know, give him a little bit, but he tails off. to get to his matchup against one of the two Tylers, Tyler McCarthy.
Yeah, TNT, Tyler and Tyler. T-Mac and Danger are their nicknames. And there is McCarthy up top with Miller right there with him. McCarthy feeds it to the crease. Loose ball picked up, and Northport comes away. Zimas, but it comes right back. Good effort by Jaffers. You could even hear in the crowd, find 54. Like, you can't let him. And that's what's great. The matchup is the other way now. It's McCarthy defending Miller.
Well, take him away. Treat him like an offensive mini in that middle of the field. Take him away and don't let him handle the ball.
Until he leaves the field. If he leaves the field.
You've held Northport to 5 goals, and he has 2 with the pole. So, if you can defend if you take him out of the equation for the next 10, 25 and running, you have a pretty good chance, I think.
And now he'll go off as O'Brien waits for matchups and personnel. Logan Cash going to come out of the box for Northport. And now O'Brien will start this attack. Here's Cash spinning. Back to O'Brien. O'Brien with more on him. Good slide for Connetquot.
Try to run some man principles there. Just, 2 under, sweep, throwback, and see what happens on the throwback. But the Connetquot defender is just passing him on, snapping back. Delberti opened there for a quick second. They couldn't get it to him.
And that's the thing, right? Against the zone, those openings, you've got to find it when it's there because it closes pretty quickly. Here's Elmala. Inside. Save again. Stellwagen. Rebound goes to Northport. Was there a crease violation or it's like an equipment issue for Northport? Oh, excuse me, for Connetquot.
Interesting time to blow that whistle there unless it was something very egregious. Something you have to take care of right away. Ball will stay with Northport, it appears, though.
That's Timothy McLam, 21. To restart, back to Cash.
So you've seen Delberti up top in the offense on the wings. Now he's in the crease. And they're obviously trying to see if he can find some openings and get it to him in there.
Or even him trying to pry open those openings right himself by creating some space. Almost like a can opener there. Elmala.
Of course, quarter will get real short if it stays like this in terms of the clock will keep spinning. It was 10 and 30. It just felt like a second ago, and now it's 8:30. 2 minutes come off very fast.
Up top to O'Brien. Down low, Delaberti! You mentioned trying to find that opening, and Delaberti found it.
Sometimes the spot in the zone to find is between the high and the low. Halfway, not all the way down low and all the way up top at the in-between. And you can see it here. Delaberti just kind of walks off, climbs. And now he's about 10 yards from the goal. And before they can rotate, there he is. Snipes one. Huge goal for Northport right now.
So Delaberti's second of the game, his 30th of the year. O'Brien picks up the assist, his 10th. It's a 1-goal game, 7-6, Connetquot with the lead. And Connetquot gets the ball off the faceoff. And here comes Moore with numbers. Moore the pass to one more. And there's the goal. What a response from Connetquot. It is Torresini.
I'll tell you, Moore gets that ball, and he could have done a couple different things with it. And one of them, maybe he could have just, the defender slid him. He definitely couldn't have shot it. My mistake, but what a great pass. And the one more, he doesn't get a point on the play, Moore. He gets a hockey assist, but great job handling the ball and making those decisions.
So back to the face-off as we go. Connetquot with a 2-goal lead again.
Dylan, just as soon as Northport cut it to 1, Connetquot off the face-off was able to answer. Huge answer.
These ground balls are huge. This is one. Now an open shot. Oh, what a save by Stellwagen. Absolutely robbing McLam.
Almost the same play in reverse, right, of sorts. Like the ball dribble gets through, and it gets to be a one-on-one with the goalie.
McLam spins at X. Tries to create some space. Slide comes his way. Delaberti again. And Stellwagen another save. What a story Stellwagen is becoming. Listen, you know it well, Mike, from a year ago. You lose your starting goalie. Now, I'm not saying that the regular story Fitzgibbon is the same as a Danny Seaman, of course, but it takes something out of a team, right, sometimes. But it seems with this squad, it's kind of got him juiced up, right? Let's do it for Stellwagen, and he's made the saves as well.
Let's rally around them, help them, Let's all do, play a little harder, play a little better. Delberti kind of found his way off the crease. He had that high corner.
Yeah, he was calling for it, doesn't get it right away. McLam tries to go GLE, taken away.
I really think they had Delberti on the skip, but they have to arrange the people in the right place to get that look again.
Splitting defender, sidearm shot. Stellwagen makes the save.
He just stands in there. Like he's not fazed by dodging or.
Now numbers, another shot. Stellwagen! Come on!
Little youth right there, right? Ball kind of stuck in his stick a little bit, but rally around him. Got to be whistle ready if you're Connetquot.
Cash out of the box again as we are approaching the final 6 minutes of this fourth quarter.
Delberti rolling off.
There he is. Gets it back. Delaberti. Step down shot by McLam. And Northport maintains possession. McLam, the Sacred Heart commit. Quick, fast dodger. 15 goals on the year for Timothy McLam. There he is.
Well, we thought it was going to be a good one, Dylan, right? And the teams have not disappointed. Trying to exchange spots here.
O'Brien works it. He gets it back. There's Delaberti. Ball's down. You can't overextend now if you're Connetquot chasing after that loose ball. You got to get back in to your defense. Dinnigan on Delaberti. And a timeout called by Northport.
Great patience defensively by Northport and Stellwagen just standing in there, standing tall. Gotta love it.
Yeah, he has been outstanding for Connetquot today. I think this is another one of his saves, right? Step down, Stellwagen goes up high to make it.
Good job, just just finding that ball and standing in there with good form, and not being fooled by any stick motion or movement, and just standing tall and catching that thing clean, no rebound. Good stuff for a young guy.
Connetquot, there are 7 All-Americans in their program's history. McCarthy, we mentioned before, the lone junior. You got Tyler Cordes as well, 2020 graduate, now at Syracuse. George Wachellens, class of 18, went to Maryland and LIU. Matty Ole, class of 16 to St. John's. Mike Pellegrino, what a story he is, right? Played at Johns Hopkins. Now he's a cornerbacks coach with the Patriots.
He was a great high school football player in Suffolk County.
Yeah, Hanson Award
winner. He was a tremendous player.
Zach Oliveira, you talk about great goalies, right? Class of 11, played at UMass and Stony Brook. And Kieran McCardle, who in that legacy, certainly the most well-known, bit of a late bloomer for him. He was a 2010 All-American. Then he became a 3-time All-American at St. John's.
Maybe St. John's best player ever.
100%.
And a staple in the pros.
Yep.
In each league for quite a while.
And now with the Water Dogs and the PL. And another guy, too, we mentioned earlier today about that World team for the U.S., part of that team as well. And Rob Pennell, certainly one of the greatest of all time, and an elder statesman on this year's team, a 3-time World Game participant, says he loves McCardle's game. Says he's one of the best right now as well in the game.
McCardle's played for a long time, and I think he's I'd vote for him eventually, a few years from now for the Hall of Fame. He had a Hall of Fame type career, and maybe, he's just some great names. Not a lot of names, but a lot of great names right there. And Oliveri and Pellegrino played on the same team, and that was a very good Connetquot team.
Off the timeout, does that spin again from Delaberti. Low shot and a goal. So Delaberti off the spin gets the assist, and the goal goes to Luke Liokino, the freshman.
Basically running a set piece there out of a timeout. A man-up play, sealing, rolling off, and shooting around the seal. Screen. A good job by Coach, taking a timeout and organizing that, and coming right out of a timeout and scoring a goal to make this a 1-goal game. It's got a little playoff feel to it, doesn't it, Dylan?
It does, for sure.
I mean, both teams are someone's gonna win and lose, and everyone's gonna get up tomorrow morning, and no one's handing their stuff in. but you feel like it a little bit, right? It's cool.
And you could make the argument it might be bigger for Connetquot because you need that signature win if you're the T-Birds, right? To truly say they're a team that can compete for a county title. Now, they beat Huntington. That was a very good win. They lost in overtime to Ward Melville with a chance to win it late in regulation. And then you win the opening face-off, but they lose that game at Ward Melville. So now this is that moment for Connetquot. Can they hold on for these final 4 minutes and get that signature win that they're hoping for?
What a great ground ball and possession there by Dinnigan. Great work. Poise.
Yeah, Dinnigan's really good. Junior again going to Malloy, D2. Really good program there at Malloy. Here comes McCarthy.
Got the short stick now off the slide. You can switch. You can try taking him forward from Miller as you can. See how far Miller will go. And you can see that Jafaris is trying to, he's the adjacent. So you have a little cat and mouse here. Miller's trying to go, and Jafaris is the adjacent offensive player with him, trying to put himself in a spot to catch and shoot.
There's Jafaris. He swings it. Gets it to Moore.
Moore's got a short stick here too. No, I'm sorry, it's a pole.
Spins to his left. Moore still. Moore! Did he land in the crease, though? It's a good goal. The Northport coaches wanted it off the board. Let's see if we can get a good look. And I think Moore is still down on the turf. Watch it again. Mike, what'd you think?
Well, he goes to the goal pretty hard. He's not pushed. I think he started to get hit a little bit as he went down. I don't think he was pushed. At the end he was, I believe. See if we can see it again.
Was it 27 here that... Was it a push right? Now, he landed on him. But you see the official makes the call after conferring.
The right official did put his hands up, so it's going to be a goal. No matter what Coach Sarasi says about it, right now, I think he's trying to appeal his case. You can see him walking across the screen, trying to appeal his case. I think he's trying to say that maybe Moore dove, and your dive rule is not in effect in Federation rules.
And now there's the concern for Moore, who now just gets up. 4-3 on the game for Tyler Moore. But it looks like it's that maybe left arm. He appears to be in pain. So is this the time in the game I could throw my disclaimer in there?
Sure.
That I am Tyler Moore's cousin and godfather? The views expressed by me do not necessarily...
I think he's going to be okay. Walking back towards the box, like, I think I'm going to go, but we'll see.
Speaking of going, it looks like Northport's going to have to go a little bit fast now, right? Inside the final 3 minutes.
Oh, you're down 2:49, and you just want to face off right there. So, I like what they ran before. They definitely ran a set piece and man-up type play there. So let's see if they get back to that. I think Coach Rez got one timeout left, right? So see if one of you elects to use it.
Northport, the number 13 ranked team in the country by USA Lacrosse. And they're in their toughest battle to date.
There's the same action again, right?
Trying to feed the crease on the turf. Ground ball picked up by Connetquot.
Is that Dinning it again?
I think it was 9 Guido.
Okay.
Now you've got to get the clear. They get the clear. Will they get a little more? At the crease and the finish. Torresini.
It wasn't Tyler Moore, but it was a little bit more. Here it is. Good
Watch
job.
It again.
Good job clearing the ball, getting the ball in the middle of the field. Nice pass.
And that was Aiden DeLiso, his second assist. I believe it was the 4th goal now for Torresini. It's a 3-goal lead for Connetquot with 2:03 left in the 4th quarter.
I mean, you look at that path by DeLiso, nice and smooth, easy to catch. Like that was awesome.
DeLiso's 5th assist of the game. Torresini, also a basketball player. His 4th of the game, 25th of the season. Now, every face-off is massive down the stretch. Baumgarth and Doyle. And Doyle wins it. Now you can hold it.
You're going to have to keep it in under 2 minutes.
Ball's on the turf. What's the call? Timeout. Connetquot.
Coach Ferris got the timeout before. It looks like the ball landed onto the ground. Used his last one.
Here's the upcoming schedule that we have for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. It is Southside Massapequa. And then a couple of EI games. East Islip at Comstoag on Monday night. And then on Wednesday night, they're home for Smithtown West. Tommy Zumo's got a really young but exciting team. Let's see what EI has in the battle here against 2 perennial powerhouses. And then it's Massapequa and Northport on Saturday at 2:30. And then also on Saturday at 4 o'clock from Garden City. It is Garden City Manhasset, the latest Wood Stick Classic.
It's exciting to see what goes on in Southside of Massapequa. To good non-league game in Nassau County. Massapequa lost today to Mount Sinai, and Southside coming off a big win against Wantaw. And you have Mr. McEntee playing for East Islip, an exciting player, I believe, headed to Syracuse, right?
Yeah, by the way, another guy going to Syracuse.
Syracuse they have the island a little bit for finding some players to head there, and good stuff.
But he goes there in 2 years' time, right? Still
he's
just a junior.
He's a 24. Yep, good player. Haven't seen him in person this year. Excited to see that I'll be there. We'll be there on Monday night, right?
Yep, out of Comstoag.
It's exciting to see that little night game of Comstock. I haven't been to Comstock High School at night in quite a while. It's a great environment to go to and support their lacrosse very much there.
They do. And Pete Mitchell today was like, listen, I'm sorry we can't speak today. My daughters play for Stony Brook. I'm going down to Loyola. I think it was Loyola they were playing today. But a little road trip for Dad. Yeah.
Pete Mitchell, one of the longtime coaches here in Long Island at Comstock, and doing a tremendous job. So the situation is 1:54 to play. You have to keep it in. You have 10 seconds to get it in, and then you're going to have to keep it in. I'll tell you, keeping it in and keeping the ball stalled out for the rest of the game will be a pretty big challenge for any team in any situation. This is not easy.
Now, that being said, you do have two really athletic guys in the two Tylers, right? And as I say that, McCarthy lost it. Now Tittman out of his cage. McCarthy takes that opportunity and dunks it into the open net.
Well, I think when you stall, Dylan, when you're talking the huddle, you have two options, right? You're either going to shoot the open net if you get a chance, or you're not. And right now they were up, by 3 goals. So right here they get the double team on, and he's able to evade Mill. The double team never really gets there. And Amos had told him in the huddle, listen, shoot the open net, it'll make it 4. And now with the face-off, 4 goals is a lot. So if you're up by 1 goal, you probably don't want to shoot it. But the separation you had, allowed them to say, if we can get the goal open, wide open goal, put it in.
McCarthy's second of the game, 29th of the season. Ground ball, still loose. Connetquot ball. And there's the flag. Kyle Cochran came away with it, and he also is limping off the field. That was a slash and a half that he just took.
Slash, part of a trip. Hopefully he's okay. Walking pretty gingerly there.
So this is a 1-minute penalty with, you see, just over 90 seconds left in this game.
So now you're up by 4. Time is ahead of. Time is better than another goal. So if you can manipulate the ball here and not. And
you got to think 2 man down. Tittman's got to probably have to come out of his cage, right? At least to even things up defensively.
It all depends what your strategy is. Some people would probably say you can't eat a whole minute here. So he's probably got to get out at some point and double.
Here's more to Jaffairs. Oh, Nicola.
In and out.
Yeah. So didn't keep it in. Opportunity now for Northport. A man down. And they've got to do something that they're not comfortable with, which is go early. There's a bouncer.
And they have Drew Miller in the penalty box. So his gripping and ripping with the pole is not available right now.
So you're saying it won't be Miller time. Almala gets topside. Almala! So they get 1 back.
If it wasn't possible, we wouldn't play the last minute, right? So here we go.
See 23, Almala just gets topside.
That's a man-down goal. That was 5-on-6. I don't think the Connetquot defense was really, organized there. It seemed like Almala was able to just dodge something that no one's been able to do against them all day.
So Almala's 8th goal of the year. 11-8 is the score. Miller's still in. So this is a man-down face-off.
So they're going to leave his rear exit open. He could draw that ball back. He could also go forward if he could go pop it out that way.
And somehow Northport comes away. They call a timeout. So those 2 options you mentioned didn't even happen, and they went the other way. Ground ball scooped up, and Northport calls timeout, trying to rally for something miraculous here inside the final minute.
Well, 56 seconds and a 3-goal lead. If you could get a quick one here, you never know.
Well, listen, I saw up in Rochester an incredible. We'll take a break with 56 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 11-8 is the score, with Connetquot leading here.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Connetquot. Dylan Butler along with Mike Hungerford, our entire Varsity Media crew. Final 56 seconds of this one, and it's Connetquot with an 11-8 lead over undefeated Northport.
You got man-down offense right now. You have the ball and you're down a man.
Well, it appears as Miller's kind of making his way back to the bench, I don't think it's going to be for much longer, right? Wasn't it with about 30 seconds left? It'll be even. Delaberti figures I'll try from distance. Delwagen the save. I don't think that's what you wanted if you were Northport.
Tyler McCarthy still got legs, though.
So does Moore. And now the one more. The two more pass. Oh, that's the shot you don't want to take if you can see the coaching staff on Connetquot. We're like, why did we take that shot? Delaberti. Go on, extended, a little dunk attempt. Nothing there. Another shot, and there's a goal. 14 seconds remaining.
The Connetquot coach is like, can we just run behind the goal and stand there for a second? And trust me, we've all been there. We've all been there. I feel for Coach Jafaris right now. He's like, oh. More than likely, it looks like in 14 seconds they're probably going to get out of here with the great win. But just like, come on, guys, can't we just make it a little easier on ourselves?
That was McLam with the goal, his first and his 16th of the year. And that should do it, as Doyle off the procedure will get the face-off. So Jafaris. And if there's a guy that is going to have to run it out and doesn't want to hear from his head coach / dad, it's going to be AJ, right? So don't expect Jafaris to shoot the ball. He, in fact, just loses it anyway.
Miller's tough.
Here comes Miller. Just bounces it ahead. Reynolds. He'll score at the buzzer, but it is Connetquot that pulls it out. What a win for the T-Birds. A statement win.
They don't ask you how many you won by. They ask you if you won. And there it is.
So count that last goal, which makes this one a one-goal win. But a huge victory for Connetquot. We said it before, right? Like you beat Huntington. Right, that was a pretty good win when you consider sort of how teams were set up in the preseason. You lose at Ward Melville in overtime. So now you're like, who is this Connetquot team, right? Are they a contender? Are they just below that upper echelon? And I think they proved here tonight, Mike, that they are a team that can compete for their first ever county title.
Well, seeing them in person for the first time, I can tell you a few things. They have two outstanding offensive players. The guys playing around them, the young guns they got playing around them are skilled, and they have a young kid in the goal who's really had a great game tonight. And he'll keep getting better, I believe, as he gets more opportunities to play and more experience. And they play really hard because it was down 4-1, and they could have been like, it's not going our way. It's just Northport, two-time champion, right? But they clawed their way back out and had that stretch in the back end of the second quarter. That was pretty amazing lacrosse. So I would say Connetquot's a contender for the trophy right now.
Tyler Moore with 4 goals and 3 assists. Carson Turacini with 4 goals as well. Tyler McCarthy with a pair of goals. Jake Galosi had 1. And then 2 assists as well for Aiden DeLiso.
McCarthy's greatness is not measured by statistics sometimes, though. It's just the things he does in the middle of the field, clearing the ball, handling the ball, decision-making, playing against arguably the other great player in the county in Drew Miller, right? one of the great players in the county, and Drew Miller, a great matchup, and managing that matchup really well.
So Northport, they lose their first game of the season, 8-1 now on the year, but we do expect these Tigers to bounce back, and again, they do have to play Ward Melville. That should be a fun one, but Northport, two-time defending Long Island champions, with guys like Miller and Delaberti there, we expect them to be just fine as this season continues.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, listen, at some point, it's so hard to go undefeated, and sometimes not losing isn't always a good thing. Sometimes losing refocuses you. You know, even as a coaching staff, right? You're looking at the film after you win, and you want to criticize. You want to be tough on the kids for mistakes. And sometimes when you have this, it humbles everyone a little bit and makes them refocus. And I think Northport's going to be right there at the end. They have a lot of talent.
I agree. So that'll do it here from Connetquot High School. For our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Ron Pierre, for the guys bringing you those moving images, AJ Nieves and Travis DeLuise, for my broadcast partner, Mike Hungerford, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Connetquot High School. We'll see you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.